All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. BOC formal session on July 3rd at 10 a.m. Sheriff Elliott, do you want to lead us in the flag salute?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Chair, if I may, before we get started,
Yes.
just one comment. Just when I think I've seen everything, and I thought that our commissioner was a wonderful commissioner, I was coming to work and I saw somebody cleaning up garbage on the side of the road. It turned out to be our chair. So once again, not only is he very involved in the community at every event, at every meeting, puts his heart and soul into it, but it just the unsung stuff, the servant's heart that he has. While it's fresh in my mind, I just wanted to call that out.
Thank you for that. While we're on that, so John Olson started that here a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago, doing it himself, and then it's kind of grown from there. So it's every Thursday at 8:30. You can go in front of the MAC chamber, and he's got the little picker-upper claws and garbage bags. So if anybody wants to just walk by and pick a street, I just happened to go up and down Fifth Street because I had to get ready for the meeting today. But it's, I don't
It's a
know.
great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Gets you out. It was a gorgeous morning too. So
I
thank
think
you.
he stole it from Newburgh. We started that a while ago. Yeah. Let's see.
Back better.
All right, thank you for that. Calendar session, any changes?
I don't think so.
Okay. D, we have public comment. If anybody wants to give a public comment, fill out the card or raise your virtual hand if you're online. Okay, we have one online, so we're going to put that on hold for a second because we have one in the audience. And I would ask Audrey Malcolmson to come up front, please.
Let's go.
Good morning. State your name and address, please.
Okay, so, whoops, I'm sliding away. Hey, come here. Okay, can you state your, I'm Hillary Malcolmson. What's your name? Guys, speak up.
Audrey Malcolmson,
And where do you live?
Lafayette.
Okay. And what do you want to tell them? What school do you go to?
Washer.
Washer. And what do you want to tell them?
Thank you for giving us the money to do this out.
So Audrey is one of the students that goes to the zone, which was one of the grants from ARPA funds. And so she's here as a representative today with a thank you to you guys.
Wow.
Just a handful of the kids. They were all on different elective options. So we just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for the support that the county has given for that program.
Yeah, I remember that program when I first saw it, how great it was. And I was like, how can we get this into other places? But yeah, from what we've seen with that, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah. So enrollment has already opened for the fall and washers filled within 10 hours.
Wow.
So
Wow.
very much needed. So do you want to go give that to them?
We should probably get a picture too.
Do you want to get a picture with Kit? No, I want a picture of you.
Well, at least I should probably come over and grab the thing.
Can I please take a picture so we can give it to Brianna? Come here, come stand here with Kit. Okay, I'll take your picture real quick. Everyone's ducking out of the way. They're like, "We
That's the staff. It's the water.
don't-" okay,
Anybody else want in on this? No? Okay.
no,
Thank you.
represent it.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank
Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much.
All right. We have a public comment online. Go ahead and promote that one. Rebecca, you want to give us a little test here, so see if we can hear you?
Sure. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
There we go. Yep, you're up. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Yamhill County Commissioners. My name is Rebecca Wallace, and I am a resident of Yamhill County. I'm here today to address recent statements made by Commissioner King on his official Facebook page. In his public video, Commissioner King stated that our county's economy is built upon, in his words, cheap, undocumented labor, and described federal immigration enforcement as an attack on our local economy on the backs of the people that make the Willamette Valley who we are. As a resident and a community member, I find these comments deeply troubling. First, referring to people as cheap, undocumented labor is racist. It reduces people to their immigration status and implies that their only value lies in performing low paid work for others' benefit. This type of language has a long history in our country of being used to demean and exploit immigrant communities and people of color. We've heard similar statements like, who will wash our dishes? Who will clean our houses? Who will do our landscaping? Statements like these suggest that certain people exist only to serve others in menial roles and that their worth is tied to how little they cost us. This is deeply racist. It dehumanizes people and perpetuates harmful stereotypes about immigrants, particularly Latino immigrants, as nothing more than a source of cheap labor. These are human beings, mothers, fathers, children, community members who deserve dignity and respect regardless of immigration status or occupation. Calling them cheap, undocumented labor is gross and unacceptable from anyone, let alone an elected official representing our county. Second, these statements unfairly cast local farmers and farm labor contractors in a negative light while failing to address the real root of the issue. If Commissioner King wants to see real change, he should speak directly with the farm owners and farm labor contractors who are employing migrants without legal status, rather than placing all of the blame and onus on the migrant workers themselves. Employers have a huge responsibility in this system. The reality is, if farm owners were willing to pay higher wages, they could attract documented workers or sponsor migrant workers to obtain legal status. But as long as some employers are willing to pay the lowest possible wage, they will continue to seek out the most vulnerable laborers, those without legal status, because they are the only ones who will accept those types of conditions. And I want to be clear, there are many farmers in our county who do the right thing. They employ legally documented workers and U.S. citizens, they pay fair market wages, and they treat their employees with dignity and respect. Those farmers have taken high offense to what Commissioner King has said, because his words unfairly imply that all farms depend on violating the law to succeed, and that is simply not true. Third, if Commissioner King cared so deeply about these migrant workers, he could use his position to advocate for immigration reform that provides them with pathways to legal work authorization. He could speak to our federal delegation about increasing visa slots for agricultural workers. He could volunteer his time to help migrant families fill out legal paperwork or donate money to nonprofit organizations that provide legal assistance and sponsorship for immigrants seeking to regularize their status. Instead, he chose to make inflammatory comments that blame the workers themselves rather than addressing the broken system and the employers who perpetuate it. Fourth, we have seen recent examples in Yamhill County that highlight why safety and the rule of law matter. 2 immigrants have been picked up here recently, an Iranian national with an extensive criminal record, and a Mexican national holding a felony for re-entry dating back to 2006. These are 2 wildly different cases, but they show that public safety must not be compromised for economic profits. Enforcing the law is necessary to keep our community safe while also ensuring we treat people with dignity. Fifth, I want to address the role of County Commissioner. Commissioner King responded to a constituent saying that impacts on local economy from state and federal policy are very essential to my role as Commissioner. While understanding economic impacts is important, the primary duty of a County Commissioner, as stated in the county's own official documents, is to administer county government in accordance with the law and to support the services Yamhill County provides to its residents. Immigration enforcement is a federal responsibility, not a county function. Framing ICE enforcement as an attack on our economy undermines the rule of law and implies that economic benefit should override federal law. That is a dangerous precedent for an elected official to set. And finally, these comments divide our community. They perpetuate harmful stereotypes and deepen divides within our county. Whether someone supports or opposes current immigration policy, we should all agree that people deserve to be described with respect. Their worth is not measured solely in dollars per hour or their legal status. And in conclusion, I ask Commissioner King to publicly clarify and reconsider his words. I ask this board to reaffirm that all people working in Yamhill County deserve dignity and that employers who choose to hire undocumented workers hold responsibility for those choices. And I ask we as a community to commit to honest, respectful conversations that do not degrade others for political or economic talking points. Thank you for your time and your service to our county.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. E is department
I
updates.
think I'd like to just point out the ruling that came down just yesterday from federal judge that that these should be that in the instance of the Mexican national, Moises should be released. There are people that are in his current space. And I do believe that most of what Ms. Wallace had to say was taken out of context from what I said on a Facebook post, social media. I do believe that the whole system needs to be addressed, and you can't deport without addressing the entire system. And that was the of undocumented workers being part of that system. And I have done most of what she suggested that I do in advocating with legislative in state and federal level and for their right to be here. So thank you for your comment, Ms. Wallace.
E, department updates, there is none. F is work session. There is none. G is consent agenda. We have some surplus items from IT. We have some committees that we're going to appoint to. I will, as a note on G2 is the approval an appointment of John Olson and Chris Tykaro to the Parks Advisory Board. If this one passes, there will still be one empty spot on the Parks Board. So if you're out there and you're interested in the Parks Board, they're going to do interviews again in August, which is going to be August 20th at 5:30 at the Public Works Building. So get your applications in for that to fill that one last seat. And on item G3, as a note, with the appointment of Stephen Fox, if approved, that will make RIAC full, so there will be no empty spots on that. I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion?
None.
None?
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those, no, passes unanimously. Thank you. H is old business. There is none. I is other business. I1 is consideration of approval of amendment number 6 to an agreement between Yamhill County and Siemens Industry, Board Order 19-504, for the modifications to the PLC/VMS system upgrade in the Yamhill County Correctional Facility, adding 5 cameras and increasing the not to exceed amount by $46,244 for a total of $1,951,288, effective upon full execution.
I would move approval.
There's been a motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. I2 is consideration approval of intergovernmental agreement number 73000-00045054 between Yamhill County Public Works, City of McMinnville, and Oregon Department of Transportation to grant ODOT access and use of Southwest Old Sheridan Road as a detour during construction, effective upon full execution through December 31st, 2027. I would move approval. Any further discussion?
None.
None?
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item I3 is consideration of approval of amendment number 1 to agreement number 179210 between Yamhill County and the Oregon Department of Health and Human Services, of Human Services for the Vocational Rehabilitation Program, Board Order number 23-091, extending the term to March 31st, 2027.
Chair, I move approval.
Motion's been made. Any further discussion?
None?
None? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That one's got some walkout music. That's a good one.
Motion passes unanimously. Did you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item I4 is consideration of approval of an intergovernmental agreement between Yamhill County Sheriff's Office and the University of Oregon's Oregon Hazard Lab. I did not read that wrong. Sheriff's Office and the University of Oregon's Oregon Hazard Lab, OHL, for the installation of a microwave communication link on the High Heaven radio tower with a total first year rental amount of $790.10. subject to annual adjustments effective upon full execution through October 31st, 2029.
I would move approval.
Motion's been made. Any further discussion?
None.
And just to clarify just a little bit, the lease is so low because we're actually getting value back in kind of safety factors that this is going to have for the county or just our region.
Thank you, Chair. The rental is to allow Oregon Hazards Lab to install equipment onto the High Heaven Communication Tower. So essentially, they're renting space from the county to install that microwave link that is a part of their greater smoke detection program in this northwest region of the state. So it is essentially a public safety component because the AI smoke detection obviously has a benefit to Yamhill County residents as well as neighboring counties. The site itself is a critical link for them to be able to connect with their system on Saddle Mountain. And so this is just facilitating a greater expansion of their smoke detection program. We did extend the public safety rate versus a commercial rate for that space to install the equipment.
Okay. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you. I5 is consideration approval to submit a letter of support of the City of Newburgh's application for the Oregon State Transportation and Growth Management Grant for a comprehensive update to the city's transportation system plan.
Would move approval.
Motion's been made. Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. J, public hearings, there is none, which brings us to announcements. Commissioner King, kick us off.
Thank you. Last week, like I said, I went to my last time at County College and it was really great. Commissioners and administrators from across the state talking about issues. This one was focused on roads, surveying, so on and so forth. And just so happened that while we were talking about this, the transportation bill was being discussed and in committee. And I suggested that we go down to Salem to go give some public, or go down to the Capitol. We happened to be at the Public Works, so it did take us a few miles to get there. But it was great to see commissioners from across the state, whether they're more progressive or conservative, really hone in on this one issue that really affected all of us from cities to and counties that wasn't going to get any money. So a few of us were able to stick around. I think us and other groups got a lot of attention in this committee. And so it stalled for a lot of hours and then ended up dying. So I felt it was kind of a interesting time to be able to be at County College and kind of put our influence to work right in the moment. I met with our field reps and Unidos on Friday, and to really reiterate that there is no coordination between our Sheriff's Department and ICE, and that Innovation Law Lab is heavily supporting our Yamhill County residents and families experiencing while they're in detainment. I met with a local college student that was writing a paper around rural America and politics that are here, so it's kind of fun to see younger folks engaging the way that they're engaging right now and some of these degrees that they're able to get. I am very concerned about these policies that are coming through from ICE and this big beautiful bill and SNAP benefits and Medicaid and just our workforce in general, keeping a close eye on that and how our foods or how our kids and seniors will be affected by some of these decisions that are being made. Attended legislative days yesterday at St. Paul with Chair Johnston. It was really fun. I've been going to the rodeo for years. It's a big economic driver, even just in Newburgh as it bleeds out into our county. Didn't get to stay for the show though. I hopped over to Rep Elmer's for a little fundraiser and hear her give a final update on this legislative session. It was great to support her. I'm a big fan and love to support her and our other Representative Ann Scharf as well. I really thank them for their hard work that they've had to do, being in the super minority and pushing back on these tax increases and gun control and just all the work that they've really had to do in order to push back. So thank you. That's all I have.
Commissioner Sterrett.
Right, I have a couple of comments about the concern and more specifically a video that you posted about SNAP benefits and a reduction in the SNAP education program, which by the way costs over $500 million. What we're finding out, and I wanted to look at some of the numbers by county and by state, that Oregon is in the top 5 for those error rates for food stamps. So in other words, people who should not be receiving food stamps, their eligibility, there's fraud, there's waste. The other thing is when you look at, for instance, since Medicaid got started, you had about a 15% poverty rate, which is about the same that it is now. And Medicaid went from 3% to 29%, while that same poverty rate stayed the same. So right now, 2.5 times more people are on Medicaid than are in poverty. So really, when you talk about the concerns about Medicaid funding, SNAP benefits funding, it really is, the bill is focusing on eliminating waste and fraud and abuse and tightening some of those eligibility requirements. So to say that children and elderly people are going to be seeing a reduction, those claims are inaccurate. There are going to be work requirements because let's face it, it's pretty easy to get on SNAP. You can get food stamps in Oregon. As a matter of fact, at a number of colleges and universities, what they're doing is the students are saying, hey, it's cheaper to get food stamps than I'm not going to buy the meal plan. And you and I are paying for that. And that is not the idea of what food stamp was for. It's pretty easy to get on that because it's, if you've had any entitlement, any temporary assistance to needy families or anything, food stamps are pretty much a breeze to get into. So the problem is that we're also looking at SNAP benefits being more obese and less healthy than those who still are low income but are not receiving SNAP. And that is because if you're giving people money, they might be able to afford a 6-pack of Pepsi because now they don't have to make a decision between a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. So that SNAP education program, which basically is just another $500 million a year, is not taking any food out of anybody's mouths. When these food stamp programs were created, a lot of low-income Americans were basically not getting enough food. Now they're consuming too much food. So if you look at the state of Oregon, we have 17% of our population is receiving food stamps. That's pretty bad. And the cost of SNAP is now basically outrunning the ability for the state and federal governments to cover these. So I really think it's important for us to look at what these bills are designed to do, and that's to get rid of the eligibility concerns and the waste and fraud that's happening. But to go back to some of the things that happened this week, I was able to visit Vine Medical Center in Lafayette, which now that the Health and Human Services no longer offers pregnancy testing. They do pregnancy testing. They have an RN. They hired George Fox nurses. They have a sonogram trained nurse, and they provide education support, medical services for low income. A lot of times folks are trying to get a pregnancy test through Virginia Garcia and they just can't do it. So they're doing consults at this organization working with Health and Human Services. We had a CCO meeting working on the CCO operating budget, and also got to visit with Aries on Saturday after the Carlton Parade. Those are the amateur radio enthusiasts who did a 24-hour straight field testing and were able to connect with people all over the country, and really appreciate those folks volunteering with CERT, and they did a national exercise. Contacted and connected with Pure Light Botanical that we had visited with, and we have 2 of our transitional treatment and recovery service providers who are going to be meeting with Caitlin next week. They have 2 graduates, 2 women who might be a perfect fit for that employment position. And let's see, the Carlton Parade, CPRD, we have 2 new board members there. And they talked about, obviously Crabtree Park is going to be something we're going to have to continue discussing. They're not interested in moving ahead with purchasing that, but that's okay. Wanted to share that the adventure camp out at the Heritage Center was a success. This is a compilation of and a collaboration with CASA and Reach for Foster Kids. That was a success, and a lot of kids attended that. CPRD looking at a $79 million strategic plan district-wide. How much of that is going to go for trails? And unfortunately, or fortunately, I had a chance to visit with the new interim chief at Sheridan Fire, Chief Roy Horry. And he was brought in by SDAO because they had such a financial situation there that needed to be addressed. As you know, Chief Les Thomas left, and apparently it's a lot worse financially than anybody thought. So the chief, the interim chief is going to be working, and he's already had 6 layoffs scheduled as of July 10th. The second ambulance will not be staffed, but would be available if the volunteers come back, and we're hoping that they do. We had a variance which we were going to basically ask OHA to allow for a second ambulance. But now, since the plan only requires 1, there's 1 ambulance. So the chief was very candid, and when I met with him and Chief Warden, financially, it's pretty dire. But he is going to be reducing staff and taking a cut and reducing his contract so they are able to go forward. And there's going to be a lot more discussion on what happens now.
Okay. This Tuesday, Carlton City Council met and they went over their transportation system plan. They're partway through this process. I think there's 1 or 2 more meetings before they actually get to the point where they're going to adopt it. Tuesday's night meeting was all about going through different cross sections on what their next 20 years of, if they develop a road, what it's going to look like as far as width of sidewalks, if there's going to be a bike lane, if it's going to be marked, kind of some of those details. The July 14th, they're going to have another meeting, and they're going to really be discussing funding opportunities for that, whether it's through the state or the feds. I would suggest if you're in the Carlton area to reach out to them, because they are really talking about some pretty important stuff on how the layout of Carlton would be if they're going to build a new road, and you might want to give your input on that. Tuesday night was also the Dundee City Council meeting, and they have a huge shout out to Senator Starr and Representative Scharf for securing $320,000 in appropriations for the replacement of a water pipe on 5th Street that will facilitate development of the Sanders State Park and the old elementary school at 5th and 99W. They're very grateful for that. Wednesday night was Amity City Council, but I didn't make that one. Did you happen to hit that one?
No.
Okay. Planning Commission meeting will not be tonight. Instead, it will be next Thursday, July 10th at 7 p.m. Also next Thursday, right before that at 6 p.m. is Chat with the Chair. So come on down to the Yamhill County Campus Building or the Yamhill County Government something. Yeah. So Ken's got his, I got mine. I'm thinking we put this out to the public and just do like a survey and maybe make a game out of it. I don't know.
It's dangerous.
Let's see. Tomorrow morning, St. Paul Parade, 10 a.m. We will be in that with our Fair and Rodeo ambassadors. They'll stay for the rest of the parade and rodeo, and then they'll scoot off to Willamina. So they'll have to probably leave St. Paul just a little bit early to get to Willamina Parade, which then we'll do Willamina Parade starting at 6. So tomorrow's going to be a very busy day. Tomorrow evening, if you're in this area, Dayton has a fireworks show at 10 p.m. So you should roll over there and check that out. This is their 2nd year, and I actually they were able to land it on July 4th this year. Last year was July 5th. So it's going to be super cool to watch. Yamhill County Fair and Rodeo, we will have our Man Up Crusade, thanks to our sheriff for bringing that before us and the Fair Board for supporting it, but we will have it at our July 30th rodeo. So Man Up Crusade brings awareness to domestic violence and you wear purple. So if you don't have your purple, you can either go find something that's purple, or you can go on the Man Up Crusade website and order something from them. But that'll be the night of July 30th at our own rodeo. Next thing is actually last thing. Everybody have a safe and happy 4th of July, and we'll see you next week.
We're closed tomorrow.
Close tomorrow on the 4th. Got anything else, Ken? Okay.
Thank you all.
Well, close her out 10:30. Thank you very much.